Better? Oh, okay. What's going on, Violin? How you doing? How you doing? Robert G, Heather B. Man, we got a whole rap group in here. Heather, I know you know the other Heather B. She's not as famous. I know you though. Obsidian Rex, yo! What if? Can't stay in transit, but just in case a live crash before I go to work. CJ Craft, you know me so well. The most unstable channel on YouTube. Thank you for any of your participation. All of your participation. Mike is making stuff, is in the building. What it do? Heather B only recently found it. I saw your name and I immediately was like, yo, Heather B was dope back in the day. She got the thickest New York accent I think I ever heard. She was dope back in the day. Obsidian Rex says, I hope you remember me, Wes. I'm sorry I've been away so long. Listen, we all got lives, you know what I mean? I hold no ill will towards nobody who come in this chat. Look, you blew already, right? So, gotta be rocking with you. That's the reason you're blue. So I know who's who. I know who's legit. That's authentication you got right there. Next to the name. Reporter McPeak. What's over here? Alright, so we got a couple little things to do, and I got a little bit of time because I gotta go get the boys from school. Let's say I leave here about 5:30ish, more or less. I love that I'm a Long Island accent. I gotta listen to more. Oh yeah, that's what's up. City Red says yes sir. Dad's Workshop says, hi, Wesley. That's how I hear my whole name in my natural environment where I'm from. Hey, Wesley. How you doing? How you doing? How your mama now? Alright. I feel a lot like I gotta get going on this. Like in no time. So, give her a little love now, a little love tap. There we go. All right. We tried to use this the other day and it did work, but it wasn't our new standard of sharp yet. So we're going to resharpen this blade. And we're going to resharpen this blade. These two are a pair of my very first, this is actually my very first plane I ever bought. I got caught up in the Temu Shuffle. I was like, $4, I'm getting a shot. And then this came in the mail and I was like, oh, you got me. And this came to mail and I was like, oh, you got me, because I didn't know what it was. These are both well worth the money. I'd pay 5 times that for either one of these now. In terms of usefulness, chef's kiss. But you gotta get these blades sharp. So, I definitely gotta get flathead screwdriver to do that. Now, I'm going to turn off one of these fans. Look. It's been raining like crazy. And I had a fruit fly just buzz me right in the freaking ear earlier. And then I'll just turn the machine on to kill them back there. And I'll be blowing the air on me so they get away from me. But that's not good for my microphone, and I love you as a friend. one. I almost was a Broadway singer. And then I turned, I think, 8 years old and changed my mind. I was like, nah, I'm gonna just play instead. Let's see. Hasi said hi in the chat. How you doing? How you doing? Violin Royalty says rain is good luck. Rain is crucial. Good luck, I suppose, but it's absolutely crucial. I don't remember if these blades were the kind of blades that we were able to get a proper angle on the side of it. Sometimes these things have trouble with smaller blades because of the angle you need to get. The blade may not make it. Oh, it's perfect. It just does it. Fantastic. Tighten that up. I need some. I never bring water. Come down here and immediately know. Hey, Wes, stay hydrated. Do your body right. You're an old man. But I'm the spryest. Yo, I will be right back. And while I'm getting water, it's just upstairs. You don't have to. Bam, look at that. Look at it. Look at it. And then go over to Dylan's page and figure out how to vote for me when it's time to. Or is he choosing? I don't know. Maybe he's just choosing. Maybe there's no vote at all. Hopefully I don't disconnect. Hopefully I don't disconnect. Now I feel like you should go with me. Alright. Let's hurry. Yes, these stairs are dark and gross. This is before we get to the house. What a bear. Don John. Don John. Oh, feel like I'm giving you access to my backstage magic. Violin Royalty says, what are you working on now? Adventures with Wes? That's right, Miss Heather. Adventures to the kitchen of a man of a certain age in the memory of a much older man of a much older age. Recouping beverage. And look, I got up there and immediately gave up on water and went for my coffee. I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, I need more of that. Because there's water in coffee, right? Okay, Violin Royalty, your question is answered. I don't know why I'm trying to say that like I'm a freaking supervillain. I'm working on these. I'm going to cut these blades down with my stones and make them work even better in these little bitty planes. These are my two of my favorites. Oh man, those notebooks. Whoa. cool, bro. It's cool. That's it. All right. So we're gonna start with good old 400 grit whetstone. How do they do that? What is it? Is it me, or does that seem a little bit pretentious? Wet. Why put the H in there? Why the H? We know. You know what I mean? We know what you mean. We know that means water. Or am I wrong? Does that mean something else? Because this, I am relatively new to this. So I may just be a complete fool. Lion said, it's a go, yes, West. What up, Lions Fish Shop? That dude is a great conversationalist all by himself. Big up them likes, you wonderful people. Yes, please. Jer says hi. How you doing? With it? Dad's Workshop saying what's up. Great channel over there too. Hey, Lions know how the weather is over there in the old country. Con says hi. Waldrop says, can you please speak louder? How about now? What drop? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Or do you even want me? Right now I'm on the 400 grit. It's wet. It's been sitting in water a while, so it's okay. It's not as dry as it looks. However, just to make our ourselves happy, we can definitely moisturize. Get it? Speaking of moisturize, I worked on the truck today. Mechanic worked on the truck today. And I am proud to say that I accomplished my dumb goal of spending hundreds of dollars on fixing it. And frustrating myself. Getting it done, right? But man, my hands should have been drier than this. But man, I tore skin off today, wrenching on that car, on that truck. And I don't like to. Like, I don't get the same satisfaction from working on vehicles as I do from woodworking or carpentry. Virtually anything has to do with a house. That I can get behind. This? I had an ex that was really good at that shit. In such a way, in such a wonderfully belittling way. But the heart wants what the heart wants, isn't it? Okay. Obsidian says the H is like a B, subtle. Why is there a B? It's definitely an autumnal day today, Dad. I don't even know what that means. I guess autumn. Nice bit of honing. Thanks. I was in Leeds, July 1999. I remember the smell and the temperature like it was Virginia in November. Even cooler, more autumnal in Scotland. Fond memories of a beautiful country, says Calvin. Dad's Workshop. Luciano says hi. Reen says hi. And I'm saying hi back to both of you. Yeah, that's a sweet man. Always grim up north. It's been hot and dry. And I think it's going to catch us out there this year. I tell you what, nothing says a room full of uncles like discussions of the weather. Here in Georgia, it has been very similar to what I imagine is going on in Dad's workshop. Either hot and muggy or rainy and muggy. And that's just what we've been getting this summer. It's been crazy. And now a freaking hurricane is forming and potentially throwing some rain towards North Carolina. I woke up to news reports suggesting. So y'all spend some time over at Dad's workshop, just in case there's an opportunity to watch the roof blow off. You know what I'm saying? Fatur Rahman says hi. What's up? How are you? Alright, this is still the 400 grit because in truth I'm a little longer off of my degree, right? So that what that means is I need to cover that entire surface with cut, not just his backside, the entire surface. So I'm going to keep going until I've at least got half of it if I'm hitting the front. I think I'm hitting the back. That means I got to do a little bit more. But we've got some little tiny chips up front that are going to have to come off with that anyway. So we're good with that. In fact, we're going to do the often unforgivable. Yes, sure. West has decided do the unthinkable. Why does this keep like shifting like that? Which part of this motor scooter has decided to like just do what it want to do on its own? I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some adjusting of some things later. Anyway, back to y'all. Get the light up out your face. But we're gonna go to the sandpaper. It's like $1.50 right here. Throw a little water on it, only because I don't want to heat my metal up. I don't know that that's going to be too crucial at this moment, but safer than sorry is the way to go. Nothing special about what I'm doing here. I might want to tighten my paper up a little bit. I do that by just turning this little gizmo here I wedged in. I could also just wedge something else in behind it and tighten it up like that. It ain't gonna go in there either. Alright. Look at that. We're getting where we want to get. Let's do it one more. Let's do a little more out of it. Back to the dad jokes on that one. Now, how I found my angle was, I sat the wheel of this down on my table, right? If you didn't see this before, you're just coming in. And then I sat it flat. And then I looked at that tip and said, hey, that's the angle I want because it's riding perfectly and I don't have a space behind it and I don't have a gap in front of it, right? So that's how I know I'm right, or at least I know I'm close. And then I set it here. That holds the angle. And all I have to do is keep pressure on the front. And that is the magic of a $3 honing guide versus developing a real skill set of actually sharpening by hand. And the reason I call it a skill set is because that's done by feel, and that only comes from experience. And I need sharp chisels and sharp blades before I've developed that experience. So I use a honing guide that supplements for my lack of woodsmanship. And we're back to the 400 grit. Now the other thing about having this thing is that we can go pretty much as fast as we want as long as we're holding it flat and not putting pressure beyond holding the tip of that blade down on the stone. Now I'm creating a whole lot of little, I'm doing this on purpose so you can see, but you see how much of those little black particles that are in that liquid? That's what's coming off this blade, and that's how I know that I'm being effective and I'm taking off material. Every time you're sharpening, you're taking off material. Not so much if you are stropping. You're more polishing then, which is a little different. This is the second part of the process. So I'm going to do just a little bit more without that extra debris on there so I can make sure that that debris hasn't corrupted my edge, because all those little pieces will also get underneath your blade as you're doing this, and it's not going to be good for your tip. Which is also why we do this part right here, flat to the back, move a little bit around, and you see a little more debris. That's the rest of that little gunk. Clean that off. I'm going to flip it over because the other side of this one is a 1000 grit. And that is about perfect in terms of the step up. We've already flattened this, so we don't necessarily have to worry about it. It is ugly because I left it in a metal pan, and so that's what happens. But it seems to still work perfectly fine. This kind of thing, I just kind of get a feel for how well it starts to glide. It just feels, you just kind of bring the pressure up very lightly as you go. And there is a mild difference, but you definitely got to be tuned for it. And you can just kind of tell when you're at least getting smoother than you started. Sometimes you can tell by sound. All right, we're going to hit that with 1000 grit, a little bit more, one more run, and then we're going to bump up to the 3000. And then we're going to do the other blade. Maybe we'll strop this as well. Get out some compound. Now, another thing I do like to do with the blades of planes is put a little micro bevel on them. And so what I'm going to do, I think that's nice and sharp for what we want. I can go up to the 3000 grit and all that stuff, but if I want to get closer to that tip, and that means I need to move my blade back towards me a little bit, right? And that's going to give me just another teensy little angle on the very tip, because this one doesn't have a chip breaker, neither does this one. So the blade does it all. It's also meaning that's got to move the material over, right? So these blades go the opposite side that a traditional planes blade would go. against the chipper. These are bevel side up planes. So let's bump back with a quick run on the 400. Just a tip. Make your own dad jokes there. And then we'll make another run on the 1000. You hear that sound? That's how you know you're cutting new steel. That sound will soften. I'm not changing anything in my motion. I'm not changing anything in my temper. I'm not changing anything in my speed or pressure, nothing. Like a machine. And you can hear it change. Now that little static that you might hear is all that little debris. So let's clean it off. Go back and have another listen. It's a much more stable sound. So, we do a little barb off the back, just flat. People do this a lot of different ways, but you just need to flatten it, roll it across a little bit, get whatever's on there off. Wet it up again, hit it one more time, and then we'll flip it over and go to the 1000 grit. Moving super smooth. Gotta keep it right flat, right down, right exact. Look at that. 1000 grit. Small Wood Lot says, Dad, when are you gonna build that wood stretcher? Shoot, I got 6 of them over here. If you want to buy one, I'll tell you where to cash out the money in advance. Dad said very soon I'm close to finishing these bunk beds, and once I get that out of my workspace, I'm going to get that wood stretcher done. The woodbender sounds like a fun project for steaming planks. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I might get into some of that when I go into building these bathroom vanities. I think I want to do something unique. On each of these in my house, I want them to look like furniture. And nothing says high-end furniture like exotic lines and round curves and such. Alright, and we see we're on 1000 grit, and it's just gliding up there. It's just gliding down. This is exactly what we want. Hopefully, this will be perfect. Sorry if I missed anybody's chat. Say it again, Sam. Off the back. Gooch. Now, this next effort is going to be on the higher side of the spectrum. This is a 3000 grit right here. This thing maintains that same edge, that same angle that we had, and we can just keep moving up. Now everything that I've got here in the 2 stones, well, the 2 stones and the flattening stone, so I guess 3, all this is Amazon Basics. I am not sponsored in any way, but this is just what these things are. These are what I bought to start out, and they've been serving me pretty well. pretty well. I'm going to clean that off, and then we're going to move up to the 800 grit. 800 grit, ladies and gentlemen. Still very gentle. At the 800 grit level, you got to be very careful because you can also jab this stone. It's a very soft stone, so you can gouge it if you're not careful, if your pressure is not even. That's why the flattening stone is here, so that when you do that while you're learning, you can get it back to right. Get it right back to flat. See all that debris? We're almost there, ladies and gentlemen. Get down, get down. Checking out that sand. Turntable with the water. They don't fall in. Right? Right? Is that not amazing? What's up, Rat Smacker? What up, Carnage? What up, German Diario? Anyone got one of them long weights? What kind of weights? What you talking about? You talking about now? Dun, 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 dun. I might have missed some of your chats. It's moving a little bit fast in this joint. Around this little super chat. Okay, I think we good. I think we got a nice end on this thing. Somebody said hammer time. What up, G? You know who over here. You know who over here. Rat Smacker, you better cut it out. Rat Smacker is threatening the whole squad in this piece. Y'all are fun. I love it. I love it. But yo, we've done that. This is all of the process of the stones. I'm going to put these back in the water, in the pan beneath this desk, and then we're going to take this out. And because, for whatever reason, the world is so interested in whether or not these things can cut paper, I don't care if it can cut paper. I want it to cut wood. So we're going to see if it's sharp. There's a little thin veneer. So it's doing something. Let's see if we can get it to do more. And that's going to be with our trusty strap. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the strap. Let's build it in the strap. Okay. We're going to use the white stuff. This is the wax that came with, or polish that came with this particular strap. I think I paid $20 for this. Again, man, y'all gotta hunt for your own stuff. If I get some sponsorships, I'll send it to you. But yeah, everything I got is pretty low budget. I did make sure that I took on a certain level of must, right? It had to be big enough to take on a plain blade, which is pretty wide, right? And it also needed to have two sides, which this one does. And it needed to be fairly big. They will sell you a little tiny strap that you can't do much with beyond something like this or a pocket knife. And for somebody who's actually using a plane, that's terrible. That's terrible. So that's what you need, something durable and something big enough to do the job. And this one sort of checked all those boxes. And there we go, all nice and shiny. And that's what we're after primarily. I am going to put on a little bit of this emulsion that I got from Cutting Lace EDC. I don't know her, but one of my subscribers gave me this stuff, and it works pretty doggone good. So give it a little spray, and then just pull it. Now, I know I'm doing everything wrong. I've usually got some experts in here to correct me, show me what to do. But all I got now is you. No goodness. No goodness. Bunch of bad apples. Okay, so I think that's good. I think that's all we need from that. And now we're just going to check real quick, see if we can cut anything with it. And we got that. If we can get that, we're good. Blow it like a 45 after you fire it. You know what I'm talking about. All right, remember, this is a bevel up plane. You got to look at it from the bottom when you put that in there. That's what we're doing. And now this is a cheapo. It is not sophisticated. So understand that when you buy cheap tools, they will have cheap tool limitations. There won't be the same level of adjustability because somebody's trying to save you money. You can't afford knobs. You want knobs? See how I'm struggling with this? This is a little bit of a lesson to you. Because once you tighten that knob just a little bit, it's like, all right, that's it. That's all I'm doing. Not moving again, says the blade. But if you hold it even a little bit and it's stuck, right? And again, I don't try to run you away from cheap tools, but I do try to warn you that sometimes you're going to have to develop a skill set along with that cheap tool because it's not going to work like the ones that you see, the nice channels. Alright, so sometimes it's a one and done. The thing about planes is, though, at least for the larger planes, they are pretty much lifetime tools, right? So, buy once, cry once, in my opinion. But, you don't have to spend like a lunatic. Buy once on a hand plane could be $75 on Facebook Marketplace, $40 if you're lucky, and you just got to clean it up. You're going to have to learn to do that anyway. Where we at in here? I don't know what's going on in the chat. I don't even do that. But I don't know if I can catch up to that kind of work. Shout outs to all of you though. I hope we are playing pretty nice to each other. Alright. We're going to set this one to the side and we're going to take the blade out of our Japanese style, but this is actually a Chinese made. What somebody told me. Tool. We're gonna sharpen that up. I will say this over here on the West Does It channel. Y'all peace and love, man. Everybody cool. I don't entertain no fights. Oh, here we go. So I'm almost there right away. I'm gonna back it up a little bit. Well, backing my blade up means moving my wheel forward. And then I just tighten it a little bit. And then I'm going to put it on my flat stone and see if I see light. Yeah, I want the 400 grit to start. Here we go. And this one was relatively sharp the last time we used it, but we are going to run the gambit with it. I'm going to hit the front, and the back. Much love, Wes. Hope you have a great life. Yes, sir. That's what's up. I don't know what's going on in there. Old Wes got no beef with nobody except for a bad burr on the back of my blade. I should have said that faster. You got no beef with nobody but bad burr on the back of my blade, boy. Got no beef with nobody but bad burr on the back of my blade. Sucker. Jive turkey. Oh yeah. That's right, Rat. Tell them what it is. Tell them what it is. What up, Michael? How you doing? Welcome to the chat. Hope y'all having a good time, man. Look, be back on the 400 grit. We're getting a nice little bevel on the tippity tip of that thing. That's where we want to be. It's ideally where we want to be. We're here on where I want to be. I remember Warren? Who was that? No, it was Warren G. That was Nate. Where I want to be. We thought it was funny when people started singing rap songs when I was a kid. But then we got used to it. But we were more like, it was fun, like Biz Markie. Oh, baby, you got what I need. You say you just a friend. You say you just a friend. Oh, baby, you got what I need. You say he's just a friend. You say he's just a friend. Rob G, stay in the building. Bad Dragon in the building. Rat Smacker in the building. Carnage in the building. Dad's Workshop in the building. Lion's Fish Shop is in the building. Sometimes I am consumed with the chat. Sometimes I'll be like, man, it's just the internet talking. You know what I mean? I don't trip on nothing, internet. I don't trip on nothing. You gotta show up on my porch to film for real. Now, if you're interested, we in the 3,000 grit zone right now. This is what we call fine sharpening. This is what the Trollinator's will say, scary sharp. It's the kind of sharp you just don't want, man, if you don't know what you're doing. It's the kind of sharp that'll cut your skin smooth off. But it's sharp. You don't have to put another word in front of it. The lesson. A word to the wise. It's hard to interpret intention. It's hard to interpret all the things that human beings need. In order to determine intent, we have all these little subtleties. Our ears don't fold back like a dog's ears do, but we communicate just as much through our body language, our flux of our voice, all of this stuff that you just can't see on the internet. So you can't see that in typed out words. All you can do is guess intention. And you read words, and read them in whatever voice you have in your head and your imagination. So it leaves a lot of opportunity for mistakes, misunderstandings to happen. I don't think anybody is here for the problem. So, you know, maybe assume, whatever it is, assume it's said in goodwill, good spirit, good intention. You know? Assume that. Assume that. I got 5 kids. And the only fights I'm really concerned myself. They get in fights, those are the ones I'm going to get involved. Everything else between adults, between them. But it ain't got to happen here. Everybody on YouTube has the capacity to record a video. Hold on one second. What manufacturer has a good price? Good price on what? What angle should I sharpen a framing hammer? Why in the world would you would sharpen a framing hammer for what? Between the teeth? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Framing hammer. Yeah, I don't believe you can sharpen the frame hammer. You got me messed up, cool. Listen, I'm lost on even where I was in my sharpening process. Was I at 1,000 grit with this one yet? I probably was. And I jumped in there and got in the chat, got in everybody's business, and then got all soapbox philosophical. Sorry, y'all. My bad. I just on something, and then somebody starts scrapping. They fighting. They fighting outside. Yeah, but you know, At the end of the day, man, still enough. I'm not gonna trip about these numbers scrolling by. Let's try the 3000 grit. See what we got going. Sorry about that. Tell you a weird fact about me. Not that you care or asked at all, but one of my favorite movies of all time, Little Shop of Horrors. I can recite that movie line for line almost all the way through. I do not know what's so fascinating about it. I think maybe Rick Moranis' character, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of the underdog story. You know what I mean? And I've always kind of been an underdog story. You know what I mean? So I guess I could, as I'm sure many people could. But also, some magnificent singing, man. Everybody and their mother was in that movie. Steve Martin. She said, my boy, I know one day you'll find a way. You know what I mean? Friggin' Tisha Campbell and, dang, what's Pam? Tanisha Arnold? Tashina Arnold. Shop of horror. Little shop of horror. It was an awesome movie. Tommy Gunn said that's so soothing, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. Keith says mine is a Rocky Horror Picture Show. You know what's wild? I never seen that. I know it's a cult classic. There's a couple of cult classics that do that, and that's kind of the problem with cult classics, is they're not always great films, but they are perfect for the time period, and you kind of had to be there. And if you watch it in some other time period other than that, it loses a lot of its wow factor. I think that Scarface is like that. I think that the Godfather's movies are like that. I think that, yeah, because those movies, I watched them late. And I was like, you know what I mean? I had already seen Goodfellas. You know what I mean? That was my introduction to the good Italian gangster movies. So that was my line, and that was a mature De Niro. You know what I mean? Ray Liotta, Pesci, all in the same spot. So I was going back to the old Tony Montana. Did not feel authentic at all to me. It just did that. Tony Montana. Okay, this is Strop. I don't know why I'm ignoring y'all. But I am cleaning, I'm polishing with a strop and with this polish here that I got with the strop. Now, I'm going to slide this bad boy at the same angle right across. I'm going to kind of feel for it as I go. And you kind of feel it change a little bit, drag a little bit differently when you go too far. You want to be right at the point of that drag, right at the very beginning of the flow. And then once you've got it, you just maintain that. And what you'll be doing, polishing that tip like nobody's business. I'm going to let you see it first, and then, because I don't want to blind my eyes. I don't blind my eyes. Okay. I'm going to tuck that away. Now, this particular plane, it's a lot easier to put back together. I don't know how easy it is to put back together with trying to hold an angle for you to see it appropriately. But I just tuck that in there and be like, boom. And see, I can freehand slide my blade back and forth pretty easily. And then once I got it where I want, this finger back here can push on that wedge and kind of secure it, right? Once it's secured there, then I can whack that wedge once more. Now my blade is where I want it to be, and it's going where? Nowhere. Where you going? Nowhere. And now we hopefully have two nice, functional little hand planes. Now, don't ask me what group of planes they belong in. I'm not that sophisticated. I don't know. But let's see how much time I got left in this. Oh, we got almost an hour. Let me get another hit of this gold for you. A little bit of this gold for you, baby. Sometimes I do a coffee dance, and I don't even realize it on camera, but I'd be happy. I'd be happy to have it in me. That's what, okay, I'm not even going to do that joke. Not even going to do that joke. We're on a tour channel, but we're not like on a tour like that. You feel me? You feel me? Hit the like button though while you're in here freeloading. Half of you are going to drop off. Look at the numbers. Half of you are going to drop off just because I said hit the like button. I'm watching. I know my numbers ain't going to go up. I'm at 120 right now. I'm giving y'all peer pressure and it's not working. Dang it. All right. All right. I'll take it back. Hey, one person. One person. All right, you have restored my faith in YouTubery. I'm coming back. I'm coming back, baby. You're just getting upset. Showing my age again with the Seinfeld references. All right, we'll drink the coffee. Delicioso, delicioso. All right. What are we doing now? Oh, do we have to test these, or do we need to sharpen our chisels? I think we need to sharpen the chisels. Listen, we built this mallet here, and we use almost every chisel sharpening this thing. I'm going to sit here for a second and tell you about it in case you weren't here. But I'm not doing this for the sake of tooting my own horn. However, if I did have a horn to toot, I'd toot it this, because what we did in the assembly of this thing was pretty fun. It was laminating 4 pieces of individual knotty pine together and making space for a tenon out of this handle that we already had. It was a dowel. And we split it and sent it through. And then we realized we had a different space when we've got a square dowel versus a round one. And we did a design element to account for that. And it's also functional, and I thought cool. We laminated the 2 other pieces of wood onto this plank, and then we carved the heart out in place as it sits there. You can kind of see how that went. With these chisels, we didn't have carving. I don't have carving knives. I need to get some. I need to figure out that whole game. But until then, we got chisels, and we use the chisels to do that. We also use them to get some of our edges with these exact planes, but we use the jig that let us do a chamfer, because that's primarily what I use these little jigs for. Doesn't walks off screen with no explanation whatsoever. We use this. You see that little corner? That lets me make that blade the corner. And we built that with these little magnets and with just some scrap junk we had around. And it works pretty good. Let's see if we got something as an example. One, we need to see if these are sharp anyway, right? I got this right here. This is my little clamp. I use this all the time. Let's see. Uh-oh. We're too deep. So what we can do is either bring the blade back on this, or we can tighten our grip there. Let's tighten these. Let's tighten our opening and see what we get out of that. Real quick. But for this, I did not have the foresight to use the same screws. I just used what I had, and I ended up with 2 different kinds of screws here. But both of them will open with Phillips, but not both of them will open with flat. So now, see those little slots? I just tighten that up. And now, it's the same at the top and the bottom. I just retighten it. And now, my little plane, that's my groove, that's my opening. Blade sits right through there, like so. Hopefully this works. Oh, it's like way thin. All right, I'm gonna open it up a little bit more. This is why we do it live, so you can see that you got to do some work on something. See that? See what that did? You hit it from the other side, and it just stops cutting when it's cut its full depth. You'd have to open this up more to go deeper. And the difference is right now. See that little tight line there, that little tight little bevel? That's what we want. And what came off was that. It was that, not that. Can you see that appropriately? But that's the difference. Cuts that nice, tight little bevel. And if we were to open it up more, then we can do more on that bevel or that chamfer. I guess depending on whatever your school of learning is. A little deeper there, right? But again, once you're through, It won't cut anymore. It won't go any deeper. It won't go any further than you ask it to. And now, I got that. Nice bevel. And that is so important when you got to go around something like this, and they all have to be the same. These are a lot of surfaces to get exactly the same. And ideally, that's what you want to do with a situation like this. But what I'm doing here, because with all wood, you do not want sharp, crisp edges, because sharp, crisp edges do two things. They splinter, no fun, and they break. They're weak. So you cut them off or round them off so that the corners have some chance of functionality. Remember, wood is linear in one way or another, right? All this grain is going the same way. So impact on it is going to want to spread it. Just have to think about that when you're putting this stuff together. Daniel says, nice workmanship, brother. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. But that's what this is for, so that we can keep our corners nice and clean, but not necessarily relying on just sanding them around or having to take them over to a router table. This is much simpler. This is much easier. And it works. And it's cheap as all get out. So now that we know that worked and this worked, let's set them aside. And let's make our chisels work again. Back to the stones. Back to the honing guide. And most likely I'm going to end up back with Stropping again, because that's how we get out. We're going to start with the biggest chisel that there is in our immediate reach. We got, I think, two more that are wider than this, but I rarely use them. Mostly I use those for deck building. Calvin at Dad's workshop has huge chisels. But he is building huge furniture. He's over there building bunk beds. And it's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing to watch. I'm doing the same process I told you earlier. If this were a cutaway, it would be me setting this down on my bench top and getting that flat and trying to get it to line up so that the blade is parallel or lying right on top of it, right? And then at that point, I'll tighten this nut. Now, it's easier for me to do that more accurately down here on this table while you're up there. So that's what I'm going to do. But I did want you to see the process. So in case you wanted to do it, you would know what to do. Now these chisels have been doing pretty good. So what I'm doing now is essentially going to lock in that micro bevel that we were talking about earlier. I'm just going to hit the very tip of these things and see if we can get them all back. Scary sharp. It's the kind of sharp that your mother warned you about. It's the kind of sharp that Tony Montana would have done. Rat says he's... I'm lost. I'm lost. I don't even know what happened. Man, somebody's getting... It's tripping. Listen, y'all can boot whoever's acting to the point where multiple people have to cut them down. Get rid of them. I don't care. Alright, here we go. Hit it with the 400 first. Now this is a sharp chisel, I believe, so what we're going to do is just get it quick touch up. stone back wet. That's light. Oh man, I don't. Back to the sharpening shed. Listen, if y'all get an opportunity, man, Lion's Fish Shop is on surprisingly good times for us. Like, I'll see him sometimes first thing in the morning, which is awesome for me to have my cup of coffee, and he's having kind of an afternoon thing going. And because he's in Nottingham, Sherwood Forest, something like that, I believe. I hope I'm not being offensive, but I think that he's definitely in the UK. So, over there, he is making benches, stools, spoons, a lot of cool stuff. You see him working raw wood down with a freaking hatchet, and it's a pretty interesting thing to see. And it's good conversation, and just weirdly just listening to him have other conversations with people in the chat is quite relaxing. It's a good channel. It's a good channel. And he's one of those guys that's speaking his mind however he wants all the time on his channel. And unapologetically, and sometimes that means somebody's a jerk. But in this case, that's not what it means. It just means he's not going to pretend something is accurate if it's not. I watched him handle an altercation like a real expert in his chat, and like a real gentleman for the most part. But he also didn't puss out on it. Me, I just dip out on y'all. I act like I ain't got nothing to do with it. Put it on. Put it on. But, yo, very awesome channel. Dad's Workshop, y'all know that. We were trying to do some stuff this morning together, and it did not work because we don't know what we're doing. We are dads, not technically. It was a very dad moment, I think, for me anyway. What is this thing? Where's the button? Where's the button? I don't know what's going on. And then it recorded two dumb little 3-minute videos of me like staring at my camera, lost and confused. And then I couldn't delete them for a couple of hours. It was awful. It was awful. Lion says, I appreciate it. I'm a marinade kind of guy. I don't know what that means, but whatever it is, I guess it's good. I like it. I like it. Carnage Blade Sharpening. He's got a new tool over there, man, that is out of my tax bracket, but very nice if you want to see something that can sharpen knives really well, and a guy who knows all about that. It's a good channel to go to. I try to pump the ones that I see doing something. This is all the way up to the 8,000 grit. This is supposed to be in the Scary Sharp arena. This is what John Travolta was dancing about. This is what Run DMC is trying to warn you to stay away from. Was it Sucker MCs or was it Scary Sharp? I can't remember. I think it was Scary Sharp. Probably Scary Sharp. Yeah, Master J, I'm DMC, Scary Sharp. Oh, DMC, you gotta be too chisel. Got somebody from over the water typing to us. I don't know what you said, friend, but I appreciate your contribution to the chat. Don't let my ignorance be anything but that. My wife is trilingual. And I watched her learn a language and a half over the last 5 years together. And I can't imagine how she's got that much space in her brain. Like, I could not possibly remember new words. Dude, I can't remember all the English words that I've learned over time. Anyway, she's so impressive with that. So shout outs to her. And anybody who's learned more than one language, you have an incredible brain. I salute you. I took Spanish 1 for 3 years. Barely made it out alive. Big L is the GOAT MC. Okay. I used to not like Big L's voice. I'm not gonna lie. I thought he was good. I didn't like his voice. And between the two, I'm gonna say it, got some real character flaws. Big L did too. Big L was criminal. But Pun, Big Pun, dead in the middle of little, we know that we middle of man with the diddly, man, whatever he said. I think Pun carried Fat Joe. I was rocking with Fat Joe, but he was known for like kind of being mid. You know what I mean? Up north, he was getting respect and all of that because he was on that gangster business they talk about. But on a record, he wasn't really checking for Fat Joe, but every once in a blue moon. You know what I mean? I hope you don't beat me up. Ryan says, best I got is a decent British accent. I'm so jealous of a British accent. I'm so jealous of a British accent. And then as an African American, right? All of a sudden, brown Brits became hot. Like Idris showed up and made it freaking cool. And I was like, oh man, that's a new level of smooth. Can you imagine if Billy D. Williams had a freaking British accent? And then I just talked about something that only me and your dad would know. Okay. Yeah. But still, if I had a bloody British accent, you know what I'm saying? When I do it, I start to go towards Mr. like what I imagine Mr. Bean sounded like in his when he was driving that little mini about. But not like cool like Roger Moore. It didn't feel like that. Like Roger Moore was cool. Just because of that accent. Backflipping people with one wrist. Like a real gentle. And then beat up the woman and then sleep with her later. It was weird. Why were they doing that in the 70s? Like it was a form of fighting to seduce your counterpart. I don't know why that is. Freaking Brits. Dad's Workshop says Plum was rich from childhood. Yeah, it was a couple of twin brothers. Wasn't that crazy? I don't mind him being rich. Man, did you see what he did to his wife on video? Woo. It was almost as shocking. It was as shocking as the Diddy Cassidy mess. Diddy Cassidy business. It was as shocking as that video. Him and his wife. Look, here we are in the hip hop workshop. You know how to get me to engage. Y'all know what to say to get me started. Let me tell you youngsters about rap music. Okay. Tell you a joke. Man goes out to a restaurant. He orders a soup. The waiter brings the soup, sits it down on the table. The man comes back and says, "Could you taste the soup?" The waiter says, "What's the matter with the soup? Is the soup too cold?" He said, "Would you taste the soup?" He says, "I can't, what is the soup too hot?" He says, "Would you taste the soup?" He says, "There's too much salt in the soup." He said, "Would you taste the soup?" And the guy says, "Okay, I'll taste the soup. Where's the spoon?" Aha. Classic. Rat says, "Wes, give us your best Trump impression." Oh my God. Man, I might get canceled. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know. He's got suspenders. He's got a lot of suspenders. That's all I can say about this guy. He's got suspenders. He's a black. I love the blacks. Listen, I've seen a lot of brown skin. I see this guy, I say, "You're the brownest." I've seen a lot of brown skin and a lot of important people. This guy's the brownest. See you woodworking. Brown. Very brown. Very brown. That's hilarious. I'm not, yo. I am so not an impressionist. I'm not gonna even. I am not your Kevin Hart, my friend.
Damon, he is not. I am a boy. I'm a woodworker. I'm not a woodworker like that.
Oh my God. I don't even know where the Trump thing came from. I guess I just listen to this dude talk so much.
He's one of the good ones. Obama, yeah. See, he's not even a whole black.
I'm not even gonna do it. Y'all not gonna lure me into getting my channel shut down. Y'all tricking me. This is how they get you. This is how they get you. woodworker who sat by the door. James Barrows, I agree with that 100%. There is something very therapeutic about this process. We are at 1,000 grit at this point, working our way up. I'll let you see that little bit of burr on the edge there, right? Let me get that out this way. And then back to our smooth sharp. So we got a little bit, so we got to go get the other little W's from school, even though they're bigger than me. Or from band practice, of course. Got a trombonist in the family. I don't think I stropped that last stone, that last chisel. So we'll do both of these back to back after we get to the 3,000 and into the 8,000 grit. This is a 3,000 grit. And again, a nice even pressure on the very front of our homing guide. Not doing any more pressure than we need to keep the tip of that chisel down on that stone. That flexing. Now I'm feeling a little friction, a little clunky as I go across, and that could be debris on here, or it could be that we cut a little groove. So this is our flattening stone. We do this across the top, and it will grind this thing back down, and we do that until the entire surface is the same. And when I say the same, I mean if there's any coloration on anything, you want it all like that. You can see how much came off, right? So put those back in the wall top. And now we got a good thing to start with. We got a good surface. Back on the 3 pieces. See what I'm saying? Back on that sharp therapy. Feels good. Yeah. You gotta be a certain age to even know that little run. You're gonna flip it, get to that 8th thigh out. See what we can do with that. I encourage everyone to appreciate the concept, consider it, content, consider it. Otherwise, please subscribe, like, comment, share. Let's go to Hundo. Yeah. We're gonna flatten this side too. We might as well, right? That one's chippy and this one's probably chippy. Both soft stones, but again, just keep going through all of the surface. It's the same. I don't know if you can see that little river of material, but it's happening over here. So I'm gonna move the stone and see what I mean. And now, fortunately, I drilled this little hole right here. It also holds my other stuff, but I can wipe that right off. And when it runs off, it runs right into here in the pan below. Because I'm I don't know what you heard about. That stone can't get a dollar out of me. I better look over this. Shut up. sharpening the knife at the same time, Wes. All right, Lions. Got the sharp, steady crew going in full effect. Good to be a part of the world of the sharpeners. My brother Carnage is always sharp, so you definitely did. Woodshed, Amira Osemi, Asman, how you doing? Eric said something crazy. Leon said hi, what's going on? The Woodshed by Dan said, what's up, Wes? I'm sorry if I missed your what's upper, if it was a while back, but thanks for coming in, Dan. I appreciate you. Rat says, do I have any sharpeners? I do have a few sharpeners, but not as many levelers as I've got. I've got levelers all over the place. Some work enough, not really. Can you tell the difference between a water stone and an oil stone? How do you tell the difference? Well, I don't. I've only had water stones or wet stones. I understand that diamond plates are better with oil. And I do have a block that I got from Harbor Freight that has 4 sides of diamond. I don't hate it, but I like these better. At the same time, this was at a better price, as a higher price point, and which was like $30. The other one was like maybe 15, 20, I don't know for sure, but pretty cheap. I always try cheap, work my way up to something better if I need something better. This is a very basic setup, but I find it very functional. The downside is it's water, and you have to have some sort of designated space or a way to capture the water because these need to stay wet. I happen to have a pretty good space for it and kind of set up for it now. And once you do have that, it's wonderful. But if you don't have that, or you got the money to spend on the diamond ones, then you can get those. And then just spray some oil, some WD-40 or something on it. You can have at it. A lot of ways to go about it. I think I got everything I need out of that. Let's look at our tip. Our tip. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Alright, let me see. Now I'm going to dry these, and we're going to put some compound on these two, and then we're going to strop them. Lyons is answering some questions for us in the chat. He is a reliable source for these types of questions because what I am doing, he has got a workshop full. Like he's got a barrel of canes, like he's just collecting them out of the trash and throwing them there. He's got that many like they're free or something. But he's making all this stuff. I got like 2 canes and kind of ruined one of them. We're going to try to work it back. The other one still feels incomplete, so I don't want to give it away either. So we're going to work our way up to that. Lions is an incredible carver, man. Really just got to get over there and see it. But the time of day it is, when it's morning over here, over there, it feels like you're having morning coffee. And then sometimes in the evenings or at night, he's having morning coffee. And woodworking, which is also a fantastic combination. If I could do that twice a day, wow. Alright, we're not going to cut this thing up for every one of our examples. Let's find something else to carve on, just to show that our wood doing what it's supposed to do. Alright, here we go. Pretty easy, please. George and easy. Let's see. Those knife guys do that instead of paper. Isn't that better than paper? Not gonna do that. Don't do that with your chisels, ladies and gents. Some more compound or a strop. And do the next chisel. Yeah, Tormac up is about as slick as it gets. I love watching you guys. Always learning from people who know just as much. I appreciate it, man. I'm learning as I go. The great thing about this chat is there's so many people in here, often passing through, that are great makers, great carpenters, great carvers, and they can tell me what I'm doing wrong and what I need to do it better. But really completely relying on that, to be honest. And I appreciate it when anybody comes in here, because often, even in the chat, right, I'm up here trying not to whack my thumb off, and I don't always get to the chats before they scroll by. And the people in here that know enough, look at that beauty. Look at that beauty. People in here that know enough to answer those questions in a very intelligent way, in a meaningful way, because they actually do this. It's very appreciated. Very appreciated. Let's see how this one cuts. Because we need to know, right? Look at that. Look at that. Right back behind it. That's all I need to chisel to do. That's it. Also get rid of it. I love it. Don't play with knives, children. If you're grown, you can do what you want to do, as long as you got insurance and you don't blame me. Views and opinions are exclusively expressed at West Lake of our firm and not liable for anybody doing dumb-ish on their own. Beep, beep. I've got a new one coming in the past tomorrow, really useful for the carving axe. Yeah. I want to see the carving axe action. Listen, Lions, I am getting a carving axe. I'm going to try to find the used one, just so I can sharpen it myself, you know. But I'm going to get one. I'm going to try to find the one that's got the flat side on it, you know, the one-sided bevel, so that you can really get close and just slice off. That's what I want. That's the juice. That's the stuff. Rat says, I think I'm going to take off. Incredible job, Wes. Much platonic love to you. To all, especially Big Man Wes. Appreciate that, Rat. I appreciate that platonic internet love. You gotta be pretty old to remember computer love. See ya, Rat. That rat smacker has been around the lives for quite some time. and hugely appreciated. Hugely appreciated. Always a good part of the conversation. I'm glad Lyons has joined us. You're a good part of the conversation too. I appreciate you keeping it going. And my man Calvin over at Dad's Workshop really does a lot for keeping the convo. Let's see. Mike, what's up, Mike Costanza? Hello, Costanza. Just getting upset. Someone who has words that I don't understand says hi. And hi, how are you? I just don't understand how to say your name. I apologize. I'm a single languaged, weak-minded American. I don't even have a cool accent. Yeah, what you get in the side axe, really useful for carpentry, 22-degree bevel. Yes, that's what you call it. But yeah, I saw one. I don't know whose channel it was on. It was on one of the bigger channels. And when I saw it, I was like, yes. Because I'm nervous about, I got plenty of trees in my backyard. And plenty of them fall all the time. And I got a concern about, well, what do I do? Like, I just go down there with a friggin' axe that I got and whack it. But then when I get it back here, what am I going to run it on the table saw? And I was like, I need a frickin' hatchet. I need a hatchet to work that stuff down. So that's what I'm going to do. But I got to find one. I kind of want to find one that I can hold in my hand first, you know what I mean? And not order offline. Because I hatchet, you just kind of want to be able to feel it. Meanwhile, look at all this junk on this chisel. I gotta get that off there. And if that kind of thing is on there, who knows what else. So we're just gonna run the gambit with this one. This is ambitious of me. I do not generally like to trust myself with the angle. But this chisel is too narrow to get stable inside of this. So I have a choice with this one. So that's what I'm doing. I just spilled water on my seat. I don't want wood water in my seat. This is 400 grit. Just trying to keep the same movement. Trying to resist the urge to curl at the end. Just trying to keep it dead flat right off the edge. I don't think I'm going to overdo this one. I'll move on to the next grit pretty quickly. This is 1,000 grit. Kind of touched it, felt sharp. If you notice, I'm moving my body. My hands, my arms, everything's maintained the same position. Sort of just leaning back. Fat Joanne right now. Lean back. Lean back. Lean back. Lean back. See, look, just don't dance. We just pull up our pants and do the rock away. We lean back. We lean back. We lean back. We lean back. I said, just don't dance. We just pull up our pants and do the rock away. We lean back. We lean back. We lean back. We lean back. Let me make it hip hop relevant. All right. Yeah. Mass does it. That's our 3,000 grit. Let's go ahead to the 8,000. 500 kilograms, about the standard weight, if that helps. When am I going to be live again, Calvin? Oh, well, that's a Calvin question. You go, what's happening? Let's see if this one got sharp enough. Where's our sacrificial lamb? Let's see. Okay. Okay. Okay, we've got to control that depth though, but okay. That's what we want. Not as good as the others. It's good enough. Let's go ahead and get these on a strap. Try up that space. Let's see what time it is. Directing the babies. Yeah. I got enough time to do a stropping on these three real quick, and then I'm gonna dip-a-roo on all of this. So, if you've been in here chilling and we didn't tick you off and make you want to run out of here, please hit the like button. That's all. And then I'll keep coming back. That's all I'm doing is coming back for likes. Teaching you how to have. I'm teaching you whatever woodworking I can do effectively and efficiently. And I'm pretty clear about what I can and what I don't. So, you'll at least learn the wrong way and what not to do. And you can look at the chat and see plenty of people who disagree with me how I do things. But you don't have to worry about a single one of them here. There's a lot of carpenters and woodworkers all over the YouTube here. Nobody's got the kind of chisel action of a school aka does. The best woodworker carpenter you ever gonna see. These chisel blades are like diamonds in the sky. Your mom's friends call me handsome. Framer here, cool work. That's what's up, bro. Good to see you. Good to see you. I was just talking about framers with a buddy of mine just this morning. Said, boy, it's 3D fine carpentry. You show me a guy that tells me a framer isn't a brilliant craftsman, I'll tell you to build me a valley from a 12-12 pitch to an 8-12 pitch. And you tell me if they ain't brilliant. Nice and sharp here. Was sheeting a 12-12 last week. Boy, oh boy. Y'all was out there. Y'all was out there at it. That's harness work. You're running across that thing like you wanna, like you're out in the frickin' jungle on one of those harnesses with the wheel on it. Those frameless be at. There's no easy task going up a 12-12 with a 4x8 sheet of plywood on your shoulder. All it takes is a little bit of wind to make you an airplane. Now, I appreciate each and every one of you that showed up. Now it's time for me to go show up for my kids and be dad. I gotta go pick up these boys. And now that I got my truck back running today, yeah, we can do it. So, thanks for all y'all hanging out with me. Thanks to everybody who did hang out. I gotta put the Chevy back on the road and go pick up the boys. All y'all be good, man. Have a good day. Don't forget to hit the like if you want to. If you don't want to, I respect it. It is what it is. But I thank you for coming out anyway. Wes does it.
Wes does it.
Wonder if Hot Pockets might get mad at me about that. Maybe. I don't know. Y'all be good, man. Wes does it. Peace.